For today's video, we're going to change it up a little bit, place a carburetor on my son's Tao Tao quad. We bought this quad for him when he was 3 years old. Yeah, this thing, probably a little big for him. We didn't even get the smallest one. We got the 110. We haven't had too many problems with it. It's, everybody says these things, the Japanese ones are junk. I mean, for what you're paying for it, it's actually a lot of fun. You've got to assemble it. When they send it to you, they send it on a pallet, and you've got to put the wheels on and miscellaneous little things, handlebars, things like that, the luggage rack. Not hard at all. Yeah, so what happened was when we moved, same thing as my 52 Chevy, this thing got put to the back burner and sat for a really long time. Gas went bad, so these carburetors aren't really made for cleaning. If you look, the bowl on the original type carburetor, you can't even take that bowl off. There's no bolts to take it off. It's got like rivets on there. So there's not a lot of adjustments. The fuel air mixture, you can't adjust that. You can adjust the idle, but that's it. Otherwise, you just have your choke right here. You can kind of see what it does when you lift it up. When you lift the choke up, it'll close it off. Can't really see that from the inside when it's installed, but that's what it does. So I went and bought the same exact one, except the new one has the screws for the air fuel mixture, and you can actually take that bowl off if you wanted to clean out instead of replacing it. But in reality, these things are only like 15 bucks. And with that 15 bucks, they give you a fuel filter, air filter, and everything you need to get going. So, I mean, it's really easier just to buy a new one. But if I did want to just clean it out, I can now. So that's what we're doing today. Hopefully Steele will be able to tear up the yard again here pretty soon. We've got a big field out there behind these trees. He'll be riding out there now that the weather's cooler. Let's get started. So putting that new carb on is really easy. It's straightforward. You've got 2 bolts on the front. You've got your fuel line, and then your throttle cable, which goes into the top. That's what that is right there. So once you unscrew that cap on top, that all comes out. You'll pull out the needle assembly, and the throttle cable attaches to that. The only thing when you're putting it back together that I didn't pay attention to, when you're putting this little needle assembly back in there for the throttle, you've got to make sure that thing goes all the way in. Up here in the top of the carburetor, I'm going to show you the old one. So when you open this up, so it's sitting in there like that, and take this lid off, you're gonna have, the new one's gonna come with this new little plastic fitting and then the pin, and it's gonna be sitting all the way down in there. You're gonna convert over your spring and this cable right here slides into the new pin. Try and get a better shot. So this is what it's going to look like when you take it off of your old carburetor. And your first thought is, well, I'll just transfer this over to the new one. But they give you this piece right here and the new gasket. So you want to use this because this new pin is super smooth. And I'm sure that's gonna be a lot better than that old grungy looking one. This one's not smooth at all. It's actually really rough, probably from all the old gas and whatnot. It even feels like it's got a little rust on there. But to do this new one, you're gonna compress this spring. Once you have that compressed, the throttle line, the cable here, comes out the side right there. Push up on it and it comes right out. Same thing for putting the new one on. Push it in, let the spring go. Now you're good to go. Now you can slide this back down in here And just be aware that this has to be facing the right direction in order for it to sit all the way down in the bottom of this piece. So when you put it in there, just kind of twist it around until it drops down all the way. You want that pin to go all the way down in the hole in the bottom. Once you get that in there, you can start compressing this spring and then tightening it back up with the lock nut there. When I first put it in and it was starting full throttle, I only had it flush. So this was flush with the top of this here, and the cap wouldn't screw down all the way. You had like a couple of threads left at the bottom. You do that, you fire it up, you're gonna get wide open throttle, and you're gonna have to shut it down really fast. So I went back and noticed that if you flip this thing around to where that groove is on the other side, it'll drop all the way down. It'll seat itself to where that needle goes down into the hole down there at the very bottom. So once you do that, put it all back together, it'll fire right up, and you won't have that wide open throttle anymore. So in theory, this thing should fire up right now. Let's see. So yeah. So that's it. That's how to replace your old carburetor with a new one. And like I said, they give you a filter, fuel filter. They call this a high performance air cleaner. If you opt to put this on there, I'm not going to. It's not going to make any difference at all. But if you do opt to put that on there, it's just one hose clamp. Take that off, and this will slide right on, tighten it on. And there is a PCV valve, a hose that you're going to take off of this unit before you toss that out, and you're going to plug that back into the motor, and that's it. But I'm not going to do that. It's fine without it. It's not going to make any difference at all. So that's it. make sure to like and subscribe if you like this video. And we've got a ton more stuff coming up. So stay tuned.